Okay, so I just had a fillet of fish for breakfast. If I die, tell my parents I love them, please. Anyway, how you guys doing today? Happy Sunday. I hate Sundays, can't lie. But I hope you guys are having a nice end of your weekend. I hope you had fun. Hope you, enjoyed it. I did. I didn't do much. I kind of just sat around and played Arc Raiders. But, yeah, that's fun. So today, I'm telling you guys a story. I've never done that on this channel before. Who would have thought? But yeah, I'm telling you guys a story, a pretty good one in my opinion, one that I've been holding on to for a while that I think you guys will all really enjoy. If you do enjoy this, leave a like on the video. And yeah, man, let's just jump into this. Yeah. Also, please check out my song Backseat, came out a couple months ago. This is the last time I'm promoting this as I'm dropping a new song very soon. Anyway, today's story time, okay? It all starts off as a normal day back in 2017. Now, I was living in LA at this time. I was 18. Life was going pretty good for me, this was pretty shortly after my YouTube had popped off. I got to move out to LA. I was living my dream. Things were going very good, I would say. And when I moved to LA, I had a friend group there that at the time I was very close with and that I liked, a lot. At the time I couldn't really see it, but now that I look back, a lot of those friends were just like classic LA people that were really only friends with me to try and gain something. And they were only really friends with other people if they had like some sort of status that they could gain off of. They were just like lame. They were like the people you hear about in LA, those stereotypical people that just want to like social climb and use you. At the time, I didn't see this. At the time, I just thought, oh, they're just cool people, right? And I didn't really see it because I was an oblivious 18-year-old that just, was new to the whole LA thing. But at the time, I liked them, right? They were good friends of mine. Now, I will say, before I continue, there were a few that were an exception. There were a few that were really cool and I'm still friends with to this day. Anyway, 2017, this all starts off as a normal day in LA. I woke up at 2 p.m., sleep schedule cooked per usual, got up out of bed, took a shower, ate some breakfast, DoorDashed some food because I couldn't cook, sat down on my computer, and I started working on a YouTube video. Now, around this time, my daily routine in LA was pretty normal. It was just mainly this. I would wake up late in the day, eat breakfast, shower, whatever, make a YouTube video, and then I'd spend the rest of the day either just hanging out with my friends or making more videos or streaming, whatever I felt like doing. Those were like the few main things I did, right? Well, while I'm making my video, right, like halfway through it, I start getting text messages. And typically when I'm making a video and I get text messages, I don't look at them because I want to lock in. I want to make the video. I don't want to get distracted because if I get distracted, then the video might not get made. So I'm like ignoring my phone, right? But it doesn't matter because no matter how many times I ignore it, I keep getting text messages. It was literally like one every like 10 seconds. Like whoever was texting me clearly wanted me to respond right then and there. So I grab my phone, I look at the front, I see the home screen, and there is like fucking 15 text messages from my homie Dylan. And literally all of them are just like, yo, Austin, yo, you there, man? Yo, reply, yo, I know you see these, yo. So I respond, I'm like, what the fuck do you want, Dylan? I'm in the middle of making a YouTube video. Like, what do you want? Like, get a hobby or something, bro. Like, what are you doing? He's like, bro, you're gonna wanna hear this. This is sick. And I was like, hear what? And he starts FaceTiming me. So I answer it. And as soon as like the camera turns on and I see him, he's got the biggest like smirk on his face. And I was like, what's up, man? Why are you smiling? He's like, bro, check your messages. And I get this text message, right? And it's pictures of what looks to be a very rundown building, just very dingy, abandoned, creepy building, right? To which I was like, okay, what am I looking at here? It looks disgusting. Like, what is this? He's like, bro, you love abandoned places. I love abandoned places. I love exploring that shit. Let's go check it out. So this friend of mine, Dylan, me and him would talk about it sometimes. We both would talk about like our history of exploring abandoned buildings and how we're both really into like urban decay and stuff. But here's the thing. At this point, I'm 18 years old. I haven't explored an abandoned building in a long time. I was kind of over it, to be honest, because I was an adult now. My priorities were a little bit different. And also, if I got caught, I was pretty scared because since I was 18, they might charge me with trespassing or something. So around this time, I was really not into the whole like abandoned building thing, right? I didn't want to go check out some abandoned, creepy building, especially in LA, because LA was unfamiliar to me still. I wasn't like, super familiar with it yet like I was my hometown in New York. So I respond to him and I was like, I'm pretty good, man. He's like, what do you mean you're pretty good? Like, let's do it, bro. Like, this place is super abandoned. Nobody goes there. I'm reading into it. Like, it's fucking fine. Let's just go. And I was like, nah, dude, because if cops pull up, I'm in fucking trouble. Like, I'm going to jail for trespassing or something. He's like, bro, the LAPD, they got a lot more shit to worry about than some kids exploring an abandoned building, bro. I was like, well, the thing is, bro, we're not kids. We're both 18. Like, we're not going to get treated as kids. He's like, dude, we're barely adults. Trust me, the police would go easy on us. And he keeps like really harping on me about this. Like he really wants to go check this place out. And he ends up telling me that if I don't go with him, he's going to go alone tonight. And that freaked me out because this place looked huge. It looked creepy. And the thought of him going alone definitely made me concerned because if he runs into somebody, like a group of people or maybe like just a single person that's crazy enough, he could get in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? He could get robbed, jumped, whatever, right? Worse, who knows? It could be bad for him. So him going alone freaked me out. And I was like, bro, don't do that. That's fucking stupid. Do not go alone. He's like, okay, then come with me. He's essentially telling me if I don't go with him, he's just going to go alone and be super stupid, right? Now, I know some of you might comment and be like, Austin, fuck him. You should have said go fuck yourself and just let him go alone. You know what I mean? Like, that's his choice, not yours. Don't feel bad for it. And while you would be right, it is his choice and, I wouldn't be responsible for his actions, I still felt bad. He was my friend, my close friend at the time, and the idea of him going there alone, I didn't like that. So I said yes. I was like, fuck it, man. I'll go with you tonight. Let's just go quick. I don't want to be there long. I'm talking like less than an hour, bro. I want to get in and get out, like 20 minutes type shit. He's like, all right, 20 minutes, bro. That's all I need. I'm like, all right, cool. So fast forward to later that night at about 9 p.m., Dylan comes to my house. He picks me up and we start driving to this abandoned location. It was about 35 minutes from my apartment. We got there, relatively quick. Granted, LA traffic sucks dick, but we got there. And upon getting there, it was even creepier in person, especially from the outside. Like when we got there and like looked at it from the outside, it looked like some shit you would see in like a movie, man. It was just creepy looking. And you're probably wondering, Austin, what this building used to be. Well, Dylan didn't even tell me until we were there. It used to be a mall. So it was an abandoned shopping mall, which was pretty cool, honestly. Like that is a very cool, like, abandoned type building. But still, I didn't want to go in it. Can't lie. It was huge. It was creepy. And even two of us just felt like too little, If it was like 8 of us, I might feel a little bit better about it. But only 2 of us definitely creeped me out. Anyway, we were already there. It was go time. We get out of Dylan's car. We walk up to the main entrance. This place was very like unmaintained because it was abandoned, obviously. So there was just like entrances everywhere. There was just broken windows and broken doors. And you could just pretty much enter from wherever you wanted. So we found a pretty broken window right by the front door, and we just crawled through it. We got in, and upon getting in, this place was fucking terrifying, bro. Like, the pictures did not do it justice, man. Like, once we got in and saw this place, it was just terrifying. Like, there was, like, sounds that we were hearing, and, like, just looking at all the creepy, like, scenery. It felt like we were not alone in this building. It felt like there was other people in there with us, and there probably fucking was, because it was a ginormous abandoned mall, and it was in LA, where there's millions of people compared to my little hometown in New York, where there was a lot less people. So yeah, it definitely, made me a little bit on edge, can't lie. But we were already in the building, and I thought, okay, we'll just go quick. We'll just, look around for like 20 minutes and we'll get the fuck out. So we started on the first floor, and we were walking through the long hallways where the abandoned storefronts were. And at this point, I was starting to calm down a little bit. I was seeing how cool this building looked. And we were kind of getting far away from like the weird sounds we were hearing and like, the creepy like main area, like the entrance. So now that we were a little bit more like secluded and we're just like, looking at all the abandoned storefronts, I was starting to calm down and like just kind of admire the beauty of this building, right? And we end up getting to the complete other side of the building. We walk all the way down this very long like hallway / walkway thing where all the stores were. And we get to the very end of the building, and at the very end, there was one really big abandoned storefront. Probably used to be like a Sears or a Macy's or something. I don't know. But it was really big. It was all like shut down. There was like garage doors that were closed. And on these doors, these like big metal like garage type doors, there was spray paint all over them. I mean, there was spray paint all over the whole building. Like it was vandalized as shit. It had been abandoned for a very long time. And there was some freshly done spray paint, like probably done a day or 2 ago. It looked very fresh, and there was actually spray paint cans near these like freshly done pieces. And Dylan walks over to one of them and picks it up and starts shaking it. He's like, oh, bro, there's still some juice in this one. Like, we can spray paint a little bit. Now, I think I've talked about this before, but if I haven't, I'll say it. I have the artistic ability of a goldfish. Like, if you hand me a marker or a pencil or a paintbrush and you tell me to make something beautiful, I'm going to make something that looks like ass. It's going to be disgraceful, okay? It's going to look like shit. I'm not very good when it comes to art. Can't lie. I think I'm okay at other forms of art. Like, I think my music's decent, I think. And I don't know if you call YouTube videos an art form, but you know, I think I'm okay at this stuff. But when it comes to physical, like, you know, visual art, I'm pretty ass. I can't lie. So when he told me like, oh, like, let's spray paint, I was like, nah, I'm good. And Dylan's like, bro, come on, man. Like, come on. And I was like, nah, I'm all right. And Dylan just says, okay, more for me. And he turns around and he starts spray painting all over this beautifully done, like, new piece, right? It's like this new tag that looked really cool. And not to talk shit about Dylan behind his back, but Dylan didn't have the best artistic ability either. So he was spray painting over a beautiful piece of graffiti with a much worse piece of graffiti, in my opinion. But yeah, he's doing it. He's trying to spray paint what looked to be a ice cream cone with his name next to it, but like in like a street art style. It didn't look that good in my opinion because he only had one color, which was yellow, so it just didn't look that good. But he ends up doing it. Took him about 10 minutes, and he steps back after he's done. He's looking at it, and he's like, would you look at that? A masterpiece. And I just smirked. He's like, what are you laughing at? And I was like, nothing. He's like, nah, fucking tell me. I was like, yeah, I mean, sure, we could call it that. There's a lot of words you could use to describe it. You know, masterpiece, beautiful, dog shit. He's like, bro, fuck you. You spray paint then. I was like, hey, Dylan, I'm aware that I'm ass, okay? I'm aware that I'm absolute cheeks at spray painting, so that's why I'm not doing it. And he's like, fuck you, I'm better than you. I'm like, all right, you got me there. And while me and him are like kind of playfully just arguing, just being trolls, right? All of a sudden, behind us, I hear someone yell, hey, you too. And we both turn around and stop talking immediately. And we see, at the end of the walkway, coming towards us, 2 police officers. And immediately, me and Dylan kind of shit ourselves because, you know, all of the fears that I had are coming true. You know, like, literally everything I was scared of on the phone is about to come true. There's police catching me in this abandoned building, and I am an adult now. I'm not a kid anymore. So this could go really bad. You know, I could end up getting hit with some real charges here. This is not good. Now, if I was like 15, 16, you know, back when I was really, really stupid, in this situation, I would typically run. I'd be like, oh, I'm out of here, and I'd just run away. Obviously, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. But that's how I would have done it if I was a kid. But now that I was 18, a little bit more mature, and, you know, not trying to fuck myself over even harder, I just stood still. And so did Dylan. We both just stood there, and we waited till the police approached us, and these 2 cops walked up, and the one dude, the one that originally kind of yelled towards us, he kind of took the lead. He was like, all right, so what are you boys doing here today? And Dylan just like forgets to talk. He doesn't say anything. So I'm like, all right, I got it. I was like, hey, officer, so me and him, and I pointed to Dylan. I was like, me and him, we like exploring abandoned buildings. We just think they're really, really neat, really interesting, you know, really cool. So yeah, like we were just in here exploring. And he goes, you were just in here exploring? That's it? And before I could even say anything, he walks over to like that large door/wall that has all the graffiti on it. And he points to Dylan's freshly spray painted ice cream cone thing. And he goes, this is literally brand new. And you guys are standing here in the spot where all the graffiti mainly is. So you guys are telling me you're not vandalizing this property right now. Now at this point, you know, we're pretty much caught red-handed, or as I should say, Dylan's caught red-handed. So I just said, you know, the first thing that came to mind, which was, nope, I haven't vandalized anything. I just said, nope, I haven't vandalized anything. And then Dylan speaks up and he goes, yeah, me neither. Clearly lying. He literally had yellow spray paint on his fucking hands, and the police officer saw this, and he goes, really? You haven't vandalized anything at all? And he points to Dylan's hands. And Dylan goes, oh, that was just from me moving the can. I didn't spray paint anything. He did. And he points to me. Dylan just fucking randomly starts lying, trying to tell these cops that I was doing the graffiti and that he just moved the can, and trying to frame me for some shit I didn't even do. So now I'm like, all right, fuck you, Dylan. Like, you want to try and lie on my name right now? Like, okay, you want to lie? I'll tell some truth. So I was like, no, officer, no. I did not spray paint anything, as you can see by my hands being completely clean and his not. My friend over here is just being a dickhead trying to frame me for some shit I didn't do. And this cop goes, is that true? And he looks at Dylan, and Dylan goes, no, it's not true, officer. Like, I literally moved the can, and it had spray paint left over. That's why it's on my hand, but he spray painted everything. And I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing right now? I literally said that out loud. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And the cop like gets between us, and he's like, all right, I'm going to say it once and only once. I want the truth from both of you now. And he looks at me first, and I was like, I told you the truth. I didn't spray paint anything. He turns around and he looks at Dylan, and Dylan goes, I told you the truth. Like, he did. And this cop just like snaps. He's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I could hit you both right now for vandalism and trespass and walk you out of here in cuffs, but I'm trying not to do that today, so please, for the last fucking time, tell the truth. And I said it, I was like, I'm telling the truth. I swear on like everything, on my mother's life, I am telling the truth. And he looks over at Dylan, and Dylan goes, yeah, me too. And I was like, all right, swear on your mother's life. He goes, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm like, oh, I wonder why. And the cop kind of looks at me and he's like, smiles, because I think he knows that Dylan's full of shit. And I thought it was funny that was like the metric used to tell that Dylan was lying. And the cop goes, you know what? I can't deal with this right now. I'm too old for this shit. Both of you, get your stuff, whatever you brought here, get the fuck out of the building, never come back, or I'm arresting both of you. And we both were like, okay. And we got the fuck out of there instantly because, that was a pretty sweet deal. Not getting charged with anything and just getting the hell out of there. The cop was clearly feeling generous and just didn't want to deal with us. So we got the fuck out of there. And as soon as we walked out, Dylan looks over at me and smiles, and he's like, that was a close one. Like, trying to be, like, friendly and, like, laugh about it like nothing happened. And I look over at him, and I was like, Dylan, go fuck yourself. He's like, what? I'm like, what do you mean, what? Like, did you not just hear what you did? He's like, what? I was like, you fucking tried to frame me for some shit I didn't do. He's like, bro, like, come on, you can't be mad at me. You know I have a past, like a criminal history. I'm not trying to go to jail. Keep in mind, guys, the criminal history he's talking about, he got taken home in a cop car once for fighting when he was 14. There was no charges, no record of it, like, criminally. He was just trying to lie, like he was inside. He was just trying to, like, make up some bullshit reason as to why he tried to frame me. So I called him out. I was like, yo, no, fuck you. That is not the reason. You're just a dick, and you don't give a fuck about me, and you're trying to frame me for some shit to cover your own ass. I'm good. I'm good on that. We're not cool anymore. He goes, are you fucking serious, bro? Like, are you really gonna be a pussy about this? I was like, a pussy about it? No. I'm just not gonna be friends with someone that tries to lie and get me in trouble. I'm good. And I start walking the other way. He's like, bro, how you getting home? I'm like, I'll call a fucking Uber. He goes, dude, come on, let me just drive you back. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And I called an Uber. By the way, calling an Uber out to the middle of an abandoned mall, not the easiest thing in the world. It took like 10 minutes for them to get there. And while I was waiting that 10 minutes, Dylan kept like waiting, trying to talk to me about what just happened, and I did not want to talk about it. And he kept making these like bullshit excuses. First, it was like his criminal record, which didn't exist. Then it was like, oh, I thought it was just funny, man. Like I knew the cop wouldn't actually get you in trouble. And I was like, okay, that's a lie. Like he's just making shit up. And then at one point he even said he did it so I could have a story out of it, which is crazy, like a YouTube video. Also a lie. He did not do it for that reason. Like I said, he was just trying to cover his own ass and frame me for some shit I didn't do. Anyway, finally the Uber gets there. I get in the car. I drive off with this Uber driver. And the Uber driver turns around and he like looks at the building. And he's like, what is that place? Did you just come out of there? I was like, yeah, me and my friend were exploring it. Or as I should say, ex-friend. And he's like, what happened? I'm like, bro, he was spray painting some stuff. And the cops caught us. And he tried to frame me. And this Uber driver's like, nah. I'm like, yeah, bro. He goes, bro, fuck that guy. And I was like, thank you. So it was nice to know there was someone on my side. That was pretty funny that this Uber driver was like being cool about it. Anyway, the Uber driver takes me home. We spent the rest of the ride just talking about like abandoned buildings and, like fake friends and shit like that. He takes me back to my apartment, drops me off. I go inside. As soon as I get back, Dylan called me like 5 minutes later on FaceTime. I ignored it. I had no want to ever talk to this dude again. And that's what I did. I ended up blocking him on everything, and I just refused to text or call him ever again. Now, unfortunately, I still saw Dylan once in a while because we had mutual friends. So every time like a friend of ours would have a party, I'd see him there. And every single time he would try and come up to me and like squash the beef. But it's not even like it was beef. I didn't like, want to fight him or like want to like have this issue with him. I just didn't want anything to do with him. You know what I mean? Like if someone backstabs you that hard, it's like you don't even want to like know them anymore. You just want to like pretend they don't exist. And that's how I felt about it. I just wanted to like not even think about him. It wasn't a matter of beef. It was just like, I don't want to be friends with you. And he kept trying. Every time I'd see him at parties and shit, he'd come up and be like, yo, can we talk about it, bro? Can we talk about it? I'd be like, nah, I'm good, man. Like, have a good one though. Like, it was just weird. It was really weird. But yeah, I stopped being friends with him. Still not friends with him to this day. Out of all the people I met in LA, Dylan's definitely like top 3 most annoying to me because of this one reason. Maybe annoying is not the right word. I guess just top 3 fakest, I should say. But yeah, man, there's a few morals to this story. Number 1, don't go sneaking into abandoned buildings. Bad idea. Don't do that. Number 2, pick your friends carefully. Make sure you can trust them. And number 3, don't just go blindly following your friends into some stupid situation like I did in this story time. It was just dumb. I should have stayed my ass home. But yeah, guys, that's the story. I hope you all enjoyed it. In the end, we were both okay. Luckily, very luckily. And everything was fine. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
You won't let me be. Maybe I'm flat, let me die in the backseat. Let me bleed out all your